There we are. Hey guys, Saber4 here on a rare 2-for-1. We did a Boba deck earlier today, and we had a nice little couple reveals of this new leader, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Just wanted to kind of cover him really quickly, as we have had a little opportunity to play around and have been kind of looking for some things with Thrawn for a while. So super excited to kind of see what he does here. Grand Admiral Thrawn is a blue villainy leader who is sitting on 6. We have a 4/7 body for him. He is not a pilot, so he is going to be a ground unit when he comes down. The cool thing about Thrawn here is that he has a reactive ability. So Grand Admiral Thrawn, how unfortunate. When you have a when defeated ability triggered, you may exhaust this leader, and if you do, you may use that ability again. Theoretically, you could do this twice on your flip turn, as he comes back down as a leader, and when you use he has the same ability text. Doesn't require attack, doesn't do anything else like that. So all you have to do is defeat a unit or trigger a when defeated text, and you may use his ability. All right, so let's get into the deck here. Grand Admiral Thrawn, known as a very resourceful tactician. So what we're going to try and do with this deck is we are going to have our units, preferably ones that are on the lower end with the when defeated abilities, and we are going to use those units, either crashing them into our opponents or violently using them ourselves with exploit, and trigger those when defeated abilities. So what we've got Thrawn paired with red. Some of the normal staples here for Vigilance and Villainy. Inferno 4 is a great one here. Director Krennic is one of our core cards. Director Krennic is going to allow us to play the first card with a when defeated ability on it for a discount of 1. So my Inferno 4 or my Onyx Squadron are great plays, but they're better plays turn 2 because you could play them both. Val is a great turn 1. The OOM officer is also a great turn 1 if you don't have any of those others in your hand. But notice that we have a nice little slate here of early game units that we can pop down to start triggering those abilities. The missile platform is a great one. 6 indirect damage. The Ruthless Raider is a great one. You see there that there is a gap in your cost between 3 and 6. So you do have a window here where you're going to be able to play, where you're targeting playing exploit. My goal here is to get some of these things down and then bring them in either through self-destruct, which I can use as open fire with an exploit and trigger my abilities. Dooku is a great target. Malevolence is a great target. But anyway, we'll explain all these in just a minute. My when defeated cards. You can see them right here. Inferno 4, Admiral Mahdi Val, OM Officer. Director Krennic is in here because he enables them all. The Onyx Squadron Brute. I left Pride in by mistake. But he is going to help because of the droid missile platform next door to him. Then you have, at 6 resources, you either have Ruthless Raider or the Chimera. And Chimera will trigger one of your cards on play. So you're talking about any of these that are on the table, get to remain on the table, have their effect triggered, and then Thrawn can double it up. Also note that Chimera is an uncommon in this set. So this is actually going to be a pretty easy deck to build, pretty light on your total cost. So this is a fair budget deck. Nice playline for you here. Krennic enables those cheaper units, allows things like Val and Mahdi to come out together on turn 2, or to allow, as I said, the 2 TIE fighters to come out together on turn 2. On turn 3, they can be exploited and then thrown at something to bring Dooku out. Now, if you have Mahdi on the table, or especially if you have Mahdi and Val on the table, the great playline is Krennic, into Val and Mahdi into Dooku. You're going to throw a 2 and a 1 at your opponent's units. You will you will then get to give 4 experience tokens, 2 from Val, repeat her ability, 2 more from Val, take 3 damage to Dooku, and then ready him, because Mahdi's ability goes into the triggering stack as a part. His when defeated ability follows the deployment, so as does Val's, and so both of them are going to trigger and are both going to be able to resolve onto Dooku. Same thing works for your Droideka. Same thing works for your Malevolence. You can wind up with a 10-10 Dooku. Yeah, he's going to take 3 damage, but he's going to be 10-10 and ready on resource turn 4, which is just frightening. The 5 resource turn, you can bring in Malevolence, or if Krennic is on the field, you can actually do this on the 4 resource turn as well, because he will get the discount. Ruthless Raider can come in on the 5 resource turn. Chimera can come in on the 5 resource turn. Both of those things happen before the curve for Planetary Bombardment. And so your Thrawn flip, you can play Planetary Bombardment on curve for 12 undirected damage. And this is getting pretty ridiculous. So 12 damage that shields don't stop, divided, and you have to account for every single bit of it. This is my utilities and breakout. My utilities in here, another thing that I didn't talk about earlier, Confiscate made its way into this deck, as we're seeing a lot of leaders and a lot of other things come in as pilots. Confiscate does defeat those, and Confiscate against a non-unique will allow you to play a fine addition and bring those units back in on your side. A fine addition also will allow you to take Perilous Position and return it onto another unit if you need to exhaust something else, so long as you defeated a unit that has defeated an opponent's unit. As we said earlier, capital ships, there's 3 big ones in here, and they all can come in with 5 resources, and so it's very possible to have your capital ships in place, online, ready to go when it comes time for Planetary Bombardment. As far as breakout goes, this deck only runs 3 copies of one legendary. Now it's a new one. It's the Planetary Bombardment, which I'm sure I'm going to want multiple copies of. The sideboard carries Avenger, and so you do have one major hit in there. Beyond that, there's a dozen rares. Dooku and Malevolence, as well as a fine addition, are your primaries, but it's really light on the wallet, other than having to acquire new cards. Anyway, check this thing out. I will put the link to this whole deck in the description of the video. And if you like these, please like, subscribe, share these out. Give me a comment. Let me know how this is doing. Thank you very much for watching. Till then, Saber 4 out.